So you guys have been together about 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Why does this tag team partnership work so well for you, both business-wise and in the ring?
We've said it a lot today, but it's true. We're loyal to each other. We're friends outside the ring, real friends. We know each other's wives, children, all that, and we've built a brand together. And we know we're not going to screw each other over. When one goes, the other goes with them. So.
Yeah,
loyalty.
Having each other's backs is clearly the number one reason why we're going to continue lasting. I'd be blown away if we had a breakup.
Nah, it'd be too weird.
It was really surprising.
Yeah.
If he married, if he took my wife and took my kids, that'd be really surprising.
I mean, yeah, I would see how that would be a little surprising. Same here, bud.
when this first came together, did you expect this to be this long lasting? You had a long partnership before it with Giant Bernard, before that in New Japan also.
Once we got on the phone though and talked, I had a feeling we were gonna click. And then, with New Japan, we won our very first World Tag League together.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling it was gonna. I mean, that first tour was like three weeks to a month or whatever. It felt like we were clicking. When I'm in a good mood, if he's in a bad mood, I bring him up. If I'm pissed off, he brings me up. It's just with wrestling, we know how to. I know how to highlight him. He knows how to highlight me.
We got to help each other, man.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I had trepidation going there. It was my first time ever working for New Japan. I'd been around a little bit, but the first night in, he knew the style, knew how to place me, knew what would work good. We had a kick-ass match. Everybody loved it. We went out, ate some Mexican food, had our first cheers together, and kind of been together ever since.
Watching Japanese wrestling over the years, it seems like both of you guys would have had uniquely adaptable styles to Japan. You as kind of the worker and kind of the workhorse, some of the big matches you had with Tanahashi and some other guys. Yeah. And you are pretty much, I would think, the prototypical American guy going
being a monster American heel. Yeah. I mean,
but with a lot of nuance to it, too.
Yeah.
You could do a lot more than just a monster stuff as well.
And the audience has gotten smarter over the years. So, and him, again, I always say it, he understood that style better than pretty much everybody I'd ever seen. So when new guys would come in, not just me, he knew how it should be and where they should be and how it would all work. And that's kudos to the very early success of the Bullet Club and why it's still rocking now. So,
what do you need to learn when you're first going over there? What kind of things do you need to be cognizant of as a wrestler?
I think as a wrestler anyway, whenever you go somewhere, as you're coming up in the business, you should just listen, right, and watch. I mean, I wasn't sure I was going to understand it when I first got there. And it didn't take me, I didn't figure it out right away either. I remember being on a knee as a young boy there in Korakuen Hall watching Tanahashi versus Shinsuke for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and listening to these crowd reactions and going, what is going on? These are unreal. Yeah. The buildings were shaking. And the more that I would watch Tanahashi and I would watch him accelerate at the right times and I started to figure it out myself. And then I started to hear the same reactions that he was getting in my matches, and I was like, I'm getting chills now thinking about it because it's just keeping your mouth shut and your eyes and ears open and learning is what taught me. Should teach all wrestlers.
Yeah, it's really interesting now that I think you guys have had Bullet Club or some iteration of it in 4 different promotions now, maybe 5. I'm trying to think. New Japan, ROH,
Impact, WWE.
Yeah, I'm sure CMLL at some point.
Yeah, that'll happen too.
AAA as well. Well, Terry Blay was Bullet Club. So was Ray Bucanero.
Yeah. We promote our own Bullet Club shows just for fun.
Yeah. Do you ever look back at starting that and really just realize, gosh, look how much we changed everything.
It's
I think the whole movement of modern day pro wrestling kind of started with New Japan taking back off in the rise of Bullet Club, because you see it now. You said all the promotions that we've done some incarnation of it in, but almost every top guy in the business, there's fingerprints of Bullet Club on across every company.
Right.
So, and now you can see it playing out on Impact on Access TV, which I think is really cool for us and for them as well.
Yeah, most guys that were in Bullet Club were rebellious guys by
nature.
Yeah, like guys like us, like Finn Balor, right? And AJ Styles leaving TNA at the time he did and coming to New Japan, and then going to WWE the way we did, and Cody Rhodes coming in and Young Bucks coming in, and started with AEW, and there's just so many guys that were in there that stood up for themselves and to do what they wanted to do in wrestling. And to make it or to do what you got to do, you got to stand up for yourself at some point, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of what Bullet Club was built on.
Impact is kind of interesting to me now, just because I feel like a lot of people need a little bit of a reintroduction to it a little bit, and have to be kind of explained, like, okay, well, this is what it is now.
Right.
Maybe not what you were watching 10, 15 years
Right,
ago,
right.
too. So, if you were going to give somebody kind of the sell on, okay, this is why you should come back and watch Impact again, what would you tell them?
Well, character-wise, in character, I think we always answer and say, obviously, us.
Right.
But aside from that, though, I mean, there's a complete bowl of modern professional wrestling within one promotion. We talked about them pulling off that multiverse of matches, and stars from every company in the world come to Impact Wrestling. So it's truly like it's an ocean, if you will, for professional wrestling. I mean, we have the Knockouts division is on fire. We're acquiring new talent there at all times. The tag team division just continues to evolve and grow. The X division, those guys are doing incredible stuff in the ring. So you can basically see every style of hard-hitting professional wrestling that's on the entire earth all under one umbrella. So if you don't have Impact on Access TV, YouTube Ultimate Insiders, our Impact Plus app, it's $7.99 a month, has every pay-per-view in company history, all the current content, a lot of self-promoted wrestling events from around the country that a lot of the stars do. So it's a unique full package of pro wrestling for sure.
And this is your first run in Impact? If I'm
ever.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
So what's your perspective kind of as hitting the ground running?
I look at it now, it's I think people can look and say, because like with the Good Brothers, we're not going to get out of the wrestling business no matter what. We'll do different businesses, of course, but our first love, no matter what, really is pro wrestling. So I think when people get a chance and they might see us on Impact and go, well, what is this? Like, and if the Good Brothers are here and they're happy, like this must be at least something to at least check out. Then they sit and they watch the whole show and go, that was pretty good. And I think that's what I like that we brought to Impact. I mean, we're about to debut at Slammiversary, and I mean, 2 years ago, and I was getting text messages from, top guys in this industry that were like excited to watch us and go there and maybe
buy the pay-per-view and see what happened, because they maybe hadn't seen it in a while, and then a lot of them did, it was cool.
Yeah, it's just I think we're showing people that like you can come here and make a great living and have a good time, and then also we're putting on good shows.
What's kind of the synergy with New Japan and Impact been to you? They've had a lot of different guys come in for some shots. I think they've had, they got Ishii on this card coming up.
Which is huge.
And then Jay White, I think, too. And then they've had Finley and Robinson,
Suzuki,
and Kojima. And I think Nagata. Was Nagata in?
Nagata was, no.
Kojima was.
Kojima was.
Yeah, Kojima.
Yeah, but I think you're just going to see it continue, man. I think it's going to continue to grow. And that's another thing. I mean, Impact and New Japan, like that's a great couple of hours of television you can tune into on a Thursday night, because as soon as that Impact show goes off the air, you roll right into New Japan. It's caught up now. It's current. So, I mean, you get a real taste of worldwide pro wrestling on there, which I think is very cool. And I love seeing them, AEW, Impact, New Japan kind of working together. It's been super cool.
Remember, too, when we came to the Impact, it's so crazy to look back and think about it. Like, it was in the middle of this, like, insane COVID thing.
Pandemic.
We're still in the middle, but it was... so there was so much we didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to come. New Japan, I think they had taken a break at that point or something. Or
they were taking shows off, and it was wild. So we're watching them come back, to life too, which is
and it's cool to get. We got New Japan's back on Access TV. I mean, it was something that when we first talked with our contract over with Scott D'Amore and kind of wanting to come and stay here and be with Impact, it was like we wanted to have a working relationship with New Japan too, and I think it ended up working out for everybody.
And you guys have been able to do some of the New Japan strong stuff.
Yeah, we're doing Windy City Riot.
Rocky doesn't book us all the time.
We're a little expensive. But this coming weekend, Chicago, Illinois, Windy City Riot. It's going to be on Fight TV. The show's sold out. You can't get a ticket, but you can sure watch the pay-per-view. And you'll see there, too. You'll see Chris Bay, Jay White. You'll see the Bullet Club. We're tagging with Scott Norton. Very cool stuff. So
it's got to be fun. I know you mentioned not using the forbidden door, and I'm kind of sick of using that word, because it's just overused.
Silly.
It's cliche. But with all that going on and all the different synergy between the different companies, there's so many new matchups that you guys can have too.
Dream matches, man.
And tag team wrestling right now is an interesting period. There's stuff
Yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere. We love it, man. Bring it all on. We want to do
you
all
just
of it.
worked the Briscoes, I think.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah,
Is that the first time you guys wrestled?
No, we've wrestled the Briscoes in Ring of Honor, in New Japan, and now in Impact. So 3 companies, 3 different parts of the world. And those guys are great. They're bona fide stars. I think having them come to Impact, which they're going to be doing here in Poughkeepsie again for the television tapings, is cool. It's a big coup for Impact to get to see those guys live. And we love mixing it up with them. They're hard-hitting physical guys, and they're as good as they come. So
Yeah, we had a match with FTR as well in Japan that nobody even knows about for a live event for WWE, and like it was one of my favorite matches we've ever had. We went like 25 minutes with those guys, and the place was just going insane.
give us FTR in the Tokyo Dome. Give us the Young Bucks in the Tokyo Dome. Give us the Briscoes in the Tokyo Dome. Let's rock and roll.
All that's
baby.
going to happen.
I was going to say, all those seem like they're completely possible now.
It could happen.
Too.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we want to see Impact come over and face New Japan on a massive show. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's interesting. My next question in here was just like, you guys have both been around the wrestling business for so long. What do you kind of enjoy about it now? But it sounds like there's
Everything.
so much.
Yeah, there is.
We still love it. We still love being on the road together. We like traveling to new places and places where, we've been to some of these places so many times now because we've been together almost a decade, where we go, oh man, Poughkeepsie's where we had that great sushi spot. So we're like an old married couple in some ways, but and all the new stuff. I mean, the business is hot again. So there are new fans, there are old fans who have come back. There's tons of places for guys to go and work. So it's an exciting time.
It's work, right? But then it's also like a vacation every time we get to go. Like, my wife will call and we're like,
we start looking forward to it. Yeah.
Now, I wanted to ask about this, but I don't know how much you guys want to talk about it, but you were involved in the main event of maybe the weirdest WrestleMania of all time.
Yes, we were.
So what was that like?
Well, the machine gun here took the Undertaker's last tombstone.
Wow, I'm a legend forever.
And I am immortal like Hulk Hogan because he threw me to my death off the roof.
And then I Slammiversary.
Then I debuted at Talking Shop Mania and came back at Slammiversary.
Well,
so
you think back on that too. What a weird time in the world like that was. Like, we're out there filming this right in March, and the world had just shut down.
Yeah.
And like, do we shake each other's hands? Like, do we attack the Undertaker? Do I hit him? Do we breathe on him? Because we're so weirded out by what was going on.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. And
the whole camera guy was coughing like crazy. I was like, get this guy away
okay.
from me.
But I mean, Undertaker and AJ, obviously they wanted a full stadium, and we wanted that for them too, but it couldn't happen. So we made a movie, and I think it was pretty good, and that's probably why we got fired 11 days later, and then we made our own pay-per-view and had a Boneyard match and sold all those pay-per-views to spoof it. And then we got thanked in the Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech, which we appreciate.
Yeah.
And it seems like he even has said in some of the interviews that he kind of feels like it went better doing it the way that he did rather than...
Well, I mean, it's undeniable that he looks like a badass. And I mean, we were there for it. And in the first hour, he punches the window out of the hearse. And I mean, I'm making jokes about the Hall of Fame thing, but he lacerates his arm. And a lot of people would have quit. We could have filmed it tomorrow.
I would have.
And every 15 minutes or so, we would stop. They would pack it, put ice on it, put something around it, get it to slow down. And then he's back out there throwing haymakers. So
I mean, you could literally see, like his tendons or whatever.
Yeah, you can't deny what a badass old school gunslinger type of dude that he is. That was cool.
I'm going to move to something we've been calling the 3 count on my podcast. It's 3 quick questions and your answers to them. Hopefully they're good.
I don't know if the answers will be good, but I'm sure your questions will be.
Person I interview. So, if you could wrestle any tag team you haven't wrestled from any time in wrestling history, who would it be and why?
Well, we just wrestled the Rock and Roll Express, so give me Hanson and Brody in Japan.
Wow.
That'd be cool, too. Give me the Midnight Express.
There you go. That's a great
version?
So I want Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane.
You want Sweet Stan in there?
Interesting.
That's what I grew up. I mean, I remember Condrey, but then Stan Lane came in.
Stan Lane was pretty cool.
Very different, but still both outstanding.
I think both would be cool matches.
It was cool, yeah.
Other than Karl Anderson, who was your favorite tag team partner?
I miss Jesse, man. I had a lot of fun with that team. Yeah. I know not everybody liked it, but we were just so young and we had so much fun together that we still reminisce about it now.
Festus is a memorable character, man. Everyone knows him. Yeah, everyone knows him. The Japanese guys,
for good or bad, they remember.
When I brought him over, I told him who he was. Like, he used to be Festus. They'd go, wow, I know.
I have a friend who stopped watching right around that time. So if I tell him that I was meeting up with Festus today, it's going to blow his mind. And I'm not even sure he's seen all the rest of your career either.
Just tell him I'm still Festus. Festus. I didn't have much to say.
Yeah, I had to ring a bell. It was crazy.
yeah.
A-Train was, Prince Albert, whatever they call him, Giant Bernard. He was my like mentor. Taught me a lot. He was the kind of mentor too that was so great. Like he would listen to my opinions, even if sometimes they weren't good. But sometimes he would let me do whatever I wanted. And then sometimes he would shut me down. But he taught me a lot.
And this is something I've been asking wrestlers as I've gotten some more veteran wrestlers lately. What's the weirdest place you've ever wrestled?
Oh boy, there's too many. I mean, some weird spots.
I've gotten some good ones so far.
I wrestled in an empty arena in Abuja, Nigeria, in front of one person who was a military general because I was basically forced to do it and then held at gunpoint later on at the Lagos airport. So that was the weirdest one for me.
I remember one time in
a boxing ring.
2004 or 2005, I drove like 15 hours from Cincinnati to South Dakota, and I wrestled in at a casino and outside